Happy fall break, English 102 online students. Welcome to week 9 of our course. So this week I'm going to be walking you through the assignments that you'll be working on in Module 6. So we are definitely moving at a fast clip through all of our module assignments, and believe it or not, it's going to be the holidays. Thanksgiving and Christmas and winter break are just around the corner. So let's go ahead and take a look at our course calendar that you can always get by downloading it from course information. We'll look at what we worked on last week and where we're headed to this week. So you'll see MLA APA documentation styles. You chose one of those styles and you worked on one set of 5.1 through 5.3a for either MLA or APA style. So now you should be, if you weren't before, or if you were before, either way, hopefully you feel like more of an expert in creating MLA citations both in text and at the end of your document. So you'll be doing that in the next essay assignment coming up, which is the critical response essay. You'll be working on the first part of that coming up now in week 9. You will definitely be using your expertise in MLA or APA citation style when you work on the annotated bibliography that's coming up in a few weeks. And of course, for the final research project at the end of the semester, you'll be creating your own works cited or references page about your own project and your own topic. So as we go through the rest of the semester, you'll be putting this knowledge to good use. So this week, you will learn about summarizing and responding, and you'll also work on that critical response essay draft, part 1. The assignments that you will work on to prepare for that first draft are 6.1 through 6.3. As you'll see when we go through the assignment guidelines, the essay draft 1, our draft part 1 of the critical response essay, is pretty short. It's really just the preliminary kind of summary of the article or source that you're planning to use for this assignment. It's the shortest part of all the 3 parts that you'll do. So you'll basically do a part 1 where you're going to work on a summary of an article or another source, shall we say, like reliable source about your topic. You'll then work on responding to that source, analyzing it, criticizing it in part 2, and you'll put the 2 parts together to form a final critical response essay by week 11, which is Sunday, November 7th. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead into my classroom and we'll head into module number 6. Okay, and this one is titled Engaging in an Academic Conversation, the Critical Response Essay. And so we talk about engaging in an academic conversation because that's basically what you're doing with the source that you'll choose for your next essay. Somebody has written about your chosen research topic. They are supposedly experts in that topic. You learned all about expertise earlier in the semester. And now your task is to basically have an indirect conversation with the author of that piece. What have they said about your topic? What arguments are they putting out there? And how are you reacting to their arguments? So it's almost as if you were sitting in the same room, having a talk, having a conversation about your topic, but you're going to be doing it in written form. So in this module, you'll be getting familiar with summaries and responses in academic essays because you'll need to know how to do both of those for this critical response essay. And of course, you'll need to know how to do those for your annotated bibliography and also for your final research paper. Okay, you'll learn how to integrate quotations and paraphrases into academic paragraphs. You'll need to do that in all the rest of the assignments that you'll work on. You'll analyze a student sample of a critical response essay, so that will help you kind of have a model or an idea of what yours should look like. You'll write the first draft of your own critical response essay, and you'll revise and edit for the final version. So that comes, as I said before, in 3 parts. So let's go ahead and click on our folder and take a look at what we've got. So as always, you see your due dates at the top of every module folder. So 6.1, 2, and 3, and that first part of the critical response essay are due next Sunday, the 24th of October. So 6.1 is called Focused Listing, Writing Summaries and Responses. You'll see the graphic I included there is They Say, I Say. So this is the conversation part that I just mentioned. They Say is the expert on your topic who wrote an article. Maybe they gave a TED Talk, maybe they produced a documentary or something like that, and you are reacting to what they said with what you say. So to learn a little bit more about that, you'll click on this 6.1 assignment link here, and there are 2 journal questions that you'll answer. So let's go ahead and click on it. And it's the same questions you see back on the other screen. So it tells you after reading pages 72 to 77 in English 101 Rhetoric and Composition, you'll create a list of the 5 most important points that you took from the reading. And then after you list those points, think back to the text annotation exercise you did in Module 1. That's where you watched a couple of videos, you learned about some annotation techniques, and you talked about the ones that you thought would be most useful or beneficial for you. So how will text annotation help you prepare for your critical response essay? So you'll explain that in a response of 3 to 5 sentences. It can be in paragraph form or bullet point form. Either one is fine. Like other assignments we've done like this, you'll just click on Create Journal Entry and you'll add your answers there either in the text box or as a document that you upload from your computer. Okay, let's head back to our main folder. The next assignment is the Integrating Sources workshop. So you'll learn about integrating research into your writing in 3 steps. It's going to teach you all about paraphrasing, quoting, how to build that into a paragraph, kind of how to structure an academic paragraph. So if you download the Word document, you'll see what it looks like. And so there are 3 activities that you'll complete there. One is about integrating research. It has a video tutorial included with it. You'll describe the ICE method of integrating research into an academic paragraph. There is a topic about quoting. You have a video that you'll watch there. And after that, you'll explain the importance of developing your own voice, writing style, and understanding in your writing. And finally, you'll learn about paraphrasing, and you'll have a video there, plus an interactive activity that you'll complete that will help you out with getting a better handle on paraphrasing. And as it tells you there, when you get to the last screen in the activity, you'll just take a screenshot and you can paste it right there after number 3. All right, so once you finish filling in everything on that document, you'll just click on Assignment 6.2 right here and upload your completed document. 6.3 is where you actually get to see a student sample of a critical response essay, a student who wrote one successfully in a previous semester. You choose either the APA version or the MLA version. You do not need to do both. Okay, and there are a series of annotation questions that are in the margins throughout the essay that help you get familiar with how a critical response essay is put together, what you should look out for, what you should aim to do, and maybe even aim not to do. And all that is there so that you can get a good sense of what your own essay should look like. And once you fill in your responses, we can download the MLA version just so you can see how it's set up. Okay, you'll see that I've got different tasks for you in the margins, and you'll just add your answers to each one. You can do it in a different color ideally, so it's easy to see, and you'll see how a student did this successfully. And like the other assignments, you'll just click on the 6.3 link and upload your completed document there. Okay, this resource is not an assignment you need to complete, but I do think it's helpful for you to have kind of a visual representation of what this next essay assignment is going to be looking like. So I've got this critical response essay flowchart here for you. So as we move from these 6.1 to 6.3 assignments into the first draft of your critical response essay, I just want you to be familiar with the timeline and how you'll submit your work, how you'll get feedback from me, and how you'll do this all the way to the final version of this essay. So draft 1, you're going to write a 1.5 to 2 page introduction and summary of an argumentative article on your research topic. Okay, it could be something like a TED Talk too. It could be, a reliable, reputable documentary on your topic if one exists. So there's some flexibility with the type of sources that you choose to respond to. Just make sure that they are sources that would be considered scholarly by experts in the field. We don't want to use a blog post, let's say, by a non-expert. That would be an example of something that you shouldn't use for this assignment. Okay. So you'll just write the introduction and summary of your argumentative source on your research topic, and you'll follow the model essay in assignment 6.3 as you'll work on in the assignment above. This will be due along with those 3 assignments next Sunday, the 24th. And once you submit that on the 24th, then you'll get feedback from me the day or 2 days after that. You'll revise that draft 1, and that will be due by, so you'll make changes to draft part 1 and start working on draft part 2. Okay, draft part 2, you're going to be adding a response or evaluation of your article to the introduction and summary in part 1. Those 2 parts together will be due Sunday, October 31st. Then you'll get feedback from me in the next couple of days after that, and you'll revise parts 1 and 2 and submit your final version on Sunday, November 7th. So I think this works really well because it allows you to work on your essay in parts and to get feedback twice before you actually submit the final version of your paper. We won't do a peer review for this one because everyone's source is going to be different, and it may be difficult for students to evaluate an essay about an article or a source they've never seen before or they're not experts in. So for this one, you'll just get instructor feedback. Okay, so now that you know the flow of assignments, let's go ahead and open up the assignment guidelines for this. And we'll take a look at what you're going to be doing in that critical response essay. Okay, so you've written a personal essay about your own curiosity. You responded informally to a classmate's essay, and now it's time to write an academic response to an academic argument. And this is this kind of summary response is an assignment you'll see in lots of other forums, lots of other subject areas throughout your college career. This is not the last type of paper like this that you'll write, I'm sure. Okay, so for me, your audience, or this time your audience will be me and a general academic audience. You have to assume that the audience, the people who are reading your essay, have never read your article, have never seen the TED Talk, have never watched the documentary, whatever you happen to choose. So you'll need to give them enough information so they can understand the article or your source by reading only your summary. Okay, so you need to make sure that your summary provides a clear overview of the most important points of your source. Okay, the purpose in this essay is you'll determine the purpose and main points of the writer's essay and explain why you agree or disagree with the writer based on the strengths or weaknesses of the author's arguments. So your goals are to accurately summarize an article using the conventions of academic summary. You'll learn about that in assignment 6.1. Provide a focused response to the article with a clear thesis statement, and develop your response using textual evidence from your chosen article. And that's why you're learning about integrating sources in assignment 6.2. Okay, and of course, as it tells you there, you can include examples from your personal experience if they're clearly related to examples or ideas from the article itself. Okay, so getting started, you need to choose a source. Okay, so you have a few to choose from here. You could choose an academic or scholarly journal article. You could choose a newspaper article, a magazine article, or another reputable source. So I've given you examples of all the different publications that you could use. So you have a few titles of scholarly journals. You can check databases like the ones you practiced with in the Module 4 activities. You should hopefully have some of these sources already in your files. There's a few newspaper titles. You're not limited to those. You can definitely search for others. And in the databases like Academic Search Complete, you can limit your searches to just newspapers. And if you want to look just for newspaper articles, you can look online also in just a regular Google search. Some examples of magazine articles, but you're not limited to these. And examples of other sources, TED Talks or YouTube videos, but be sure the blog posts or YouTube videos come from a reputable source. And if you're not sure, definitely check with me before you start working on the assignment. Okay, so going on, for the first part, you're just going to be working on the summary, and that's all that I'm going to mention here today. So you'll accurately but concisely summarize your source, and to formulate that summary, I'll actually have to stop here since I've gotten close to the end of my time limit for recording, and I'll add a part 2 to this video. So I'll be back with you again in a few minutes.